Hi everyone, I'm Dharshani Chandrasekara, a postdoctoral research fellow from Action Lab Monash University, which is an interdisciplinary group of researchers in human-centered computing. I'm one of the co-authors of the paper Enabling Digital Parenting Interventions to Promote Empathic Partnerships among Parents, Educators, and Adolescents, targeting school refusal. School refusal is a complex issue that causes disruption at individual, family, and school levels. As we have personally experienced, the worldwide shutdown that took place during COVID-19 has affected the mental health and well-being of many people. Particularly in the case of adolescents, the impact of COVID-19 on their mental health is still persistent. School refusal is defined as persistent difficulty attending school and is associated with emotional distress. With these concerns, research studies show that in the pandemic, school refusal has increased. Although the recommended treatment approach for school refusal is a cohesive, team-based response from parents and educators, it is often difficult to operationalize such partnerships in a way that empowers the parents, the educators, and adolescents. Therefore, the aim of our study was to identify how we can design technology to help parents and educators to work together when adolescents refuse to attend school. To achieve this aim, we designed our study in two phases. In the first phase, we selected an existing digital parenting intervention, Partners in Parenting, or PIP+, as the study context. PIP+ is an evidence-based digital parenting intervention consisting of 4 levels. It is designed to support parents to prevent or reduce the impact of depression and anxiety disorders in adolescents. We selected the level 4 of this intervention, which consists of psychoeducation content to guide parents and also interpersonal coaching support. The digital parenting intervention is not originally designed for school refusal. Based on the number of school-refusing adolescents who experience the co-occurrence of depression and anxiety, PIP+ was ideal to meet the needs of parents with school-refusing adolescents. So, in phase 1, we recruited 14 parents with school-refusing adolescents who were users of PIP+. We collected data from these parents by conducting 2 rounds of semi-structured interviews to understand the nature and severity of school refusal and to examine parents' experience with PIP+ in supporting their adolescents. The findings of phase 1 indicated that although parents like to work together with educators and adolescents, they struggle to initiate communication with schools. Therefore, they need guidance and structure when reaching out to educators to share their concerns. Another challenge experienced by parents was difficulty understanding adolescents' experiences. Due to this, most parents often deal with self-blaming, leading to anxiety. Therefore, one way digital parenting interventions can be useful is by providing both parenting strategies and self-care strategies for parents. Based on parents' experience with PIP+, they also indicated that they highly value the ability to tailor the intervention based on their personal circumstances. Particularly in PIP+, it was possible for parents to choose specific topics based on their own needs and family situation. Finally, we also grouped parents' feedback under 4 categories to identify different ways other similar digital interventions could provide guidance for parents. When designing program content, providing information about alternatives to full-time, face-to-face learning pathways such as distance or virtual education or flexible learning settings was emphasized by parents as important. They also mentioned the structure of the program should be designed in a way that information about school refusal is spread throughout the program rather than limiting them to specific modules. In terms of learning and engagement, parents discussed the usefulness of topic summaries they could easily refer back to and activities which enhance engagement and consolidation of learning such as quizzes or case studies. They also identified the value of interpersonal support that can be integrated within digital interventions in the forms of peer support and expert support. In phase 2, we conducted co-design workshops with the 3 target groups: parents, educators, and adolescents. In this phase, we also built on the findings of phase 1 and explored how the perspectives of parents, educators, and adolescents could be integrated to inform the development of effective and empathic partnerships in addressing school refusal. The co-design workshop activities consisted of school refusal case vignettes to facilitate perspective taking and the concept of magic machine to inspire participants to think of magic technology that would help in their situation. In this slide, you can see an illustration of the use of a magic machine on your left-hand side and the use of a case vignette on the right-hand side in the co-design workshop activities. Our findings show that it's crucial that parents communicate with educators proactively about the challenges faced by their adolescents to obtain school support before things get worse. But all three target groups also indicated that they find it difficult to initiate communication with each other. For educators, it was mainly the constraints in their job role, and for parents and adolescents, it was due to the experienced judgment and stigma. Another interesting aspect we found out from adolescents and educators is that it's important not only to talk about the negative aspects affecting the adolescents, but also to talk about positive events like the strengths of the students, which would keep the conversations going among these different groups. Building a fuller picture of adolescents' context and experience was another factor that was identified in Phase 2 as important. This means the school refusal should be considered holistically as a concern that occurs within personal, familial, social, and environmental contexts. Finally, both in Phase 1 and Phase 2, parents' disempowerment came up as a significant barrier in supporting school refusing adolescents. This was also due to their lack of awareness about school refusal and the experiences of shame, self-blame, and the reluctance to ask for help. So, in the process of empowering parents to become advocates for their adolescents, they indicated that they need more awareness about school refusal and access to support and strategies. Based on the findings of both Phase 1 and Phase 2, we then developed design implications for digital parenting interventions to develop empathic partnerships among these target groups. First, when developing empathic partnerships among adolescents, parents, and educators, we identified that promoting empathy towards self as well as towards other stakeholders is equally important. Particularly when supporting adolescents navigating through school refusal, the digital interventions should create pathways that would help parents to articulate and share experiences of adolescents confidently. And when considering empathy towards self, it is vital to promote self-care strategies for parents through these interventions. Most importantly, providing a space for the adolescent to be involved in the decision-making related to school is absolutely critical in the process as well. Our next implication is about designing for holistic support. We identified that holistic support can be promoted through digital interventions if we provide the knowledge base, which consists of useful information, prompts to identify actions that parents can take to support adolescents, and finally, ways of cultivating empathy when communicating with different target groups. Based on the findings from both phases and past studies, we identified that providing these different forms of support, where the stakeholders can record and share their observations with each other in a centralized digital space, would be the most useful. Finally, enabling individual tailoring within the digital intervention, taking different dynamics of parent-adolescent relationships into account, was also identified as critical. This entails designing to understand the forces that shape adolescents' development prior to school refusal and providing relational components such as one-on-one coaching within the intervention. So, this is just a summary of our study. To find out more details about our findings and design implications for digital parenting interventions to promote empathic partnerships among different stakeholders, I'll invite you to read our paper.